In this video series, I'm going to go topic by topic and try to share tips and tricks that can be beneficial dedicated to that topic. Like when you get the questions from that topic, how the questions can be oriented and what you need to know about the topic. If you are new to my channel, do subscribe it so that you don't miss anything. And if you haven't watched my mastery series, I highly recommend that you watch my mastery series or whatever the pathway to PMP so that you can also understand the real content. Because in these videos, I'm gonna share more of the uh, how to solve question answers and things of those nature. But if you want to go into depth of the content, then those videos can actually help you into a better way. Okay, I'm just trying to see side by side how it will work into that. Side by side multi-speaker, immersive. No, I'm just checking different events in Zoom. Okay, let's go with the standard. Okay, so let's go with the stakeholder topic. Since stakeholder questions are one of the most challenging questions for PMP. So before that, let's wind up a quick topic about stakeholders. Initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing. Okay, so you have initiation, you have a planning, you have execution, you have monitoring and control. All these things showing you the stakeholder into that, right? So when we talk about initiation, execution, all those processes, execution, monitoring and control, and closing. The first step is always the project charter. So the things get started with the project charter. If I put it in a plain words, when you get the project charter, the work gets started, and from there on, the work actually get performed, right? So here, first of all, in the project charter, key stakeholders are mentioned. So one of the questions that you can get in the PMP exam is that during the execution of the project or even during the planning of the project, there is a task for a important stakeholder. The milestone is coming, but the stakeholder is on vacation, is not leave. The stakeholder does not even know that there was something that he should be there for. Like you kind of miss something. What has happened here? As soon as you get the project charter, you need to share that project charter with key stakeholder, with the key stakeholders. Once you share that project charter with the key stakeholders, they will be able to understand, okay, these are my responsibility, these things I need to know, these things I don't need to know. Such things will automatically resonate. So this is one of the most important thing. Whenever you get a charter, you review the charter. That's the first step for the project management. Once you review the charter, share the charter to key stakeholder so that they know their responsibility. This question can be resonated in any way, but whenever this question comes, I know the answer. Okay, a key stakeholder missed what I did that wrong. I did not communicate it with them. Okay, this question can also be resonated in this way. You are a project manager, you came to the project, you review the charter. What is the next step should do? Can be in any way. Okay, okay, I reviewed the charter, I need to share the key stakeholder. That's how the question can be resonated. You see, who is the most important stakeholder? Your sponsor. Why he is the most important stakeholder? Since he hired you, he is the person who signed the project charter. Project charter is signed by two important persons, sponsor and me as a project manager. So he hired you. Without any doubt, he is the most important stakeholder. So I need to have a meeting with him without any doubt, but other stakeholders also. Okay. So when we go to the stakeholder topic, and now this question can be in any way. You're a new project manager, just giving you the context of the question. You're a new project manager and you want to identify the stakeholders from where you should start. Okay. This can be about risk. This can be about requirement. This can be any time when you don't know. Always go to the expert judgment. Here, the most important expert is sponsor. You go to the sponsor. You have a discussion with the sponsor, identify what does the sponsor need, what are the key requirements, and then sponsor can also guide you who other can be the key stakeholders. Okay, then you can use focus groups. organizational process assets, document review that includes project charter also, EF to identify stakeholder. Okay. Now the question can be, you have identified the stakeholder, updated the stakeholder register. What is the next step you should do? I'm getting the basics of these things. You see here, if I can give the basics of the question, you can actually understand, okay, this further can be added, this thing can be removed into that thing, right? So what should you do? You need to prioritize the stakeholder. Okay. You need to prioritize the stakeholder. This is a sequence that I should know. You identify the stakeholder, you document it, then you analyze it upward, downward, internal, external, then you prioritize it using power interest matrix, right? You can be using power interest graph. You can be using power influence graph. You can be using salience model, that is power urgency legitimacy. You can use stakeholder queue, power interest, and another part. And a very important question that keep coming in the exam, I do recommend, if you are watching this video, even if you are expert in project management, but your exam is there, make a power interest graph by your hand. Make a power interest graph by your hand at least for one time. This will help you to categorize the things on the right direction. This will help you to make sure you know, okay, what does high power high interest mean? What does low power high interest mean? All those areas you will be able to control in a better way, right? For example, there's a stakeholder who has high power, high interest. What you should do with him? There's a stakeholder, he has a high power, there is low interest. High power, low interest, low power, low interest, low power, high interest. There's a stakeholder who has a very high power, but he is not much interested in the information. Or there's a stakeholder, he had power, he was not interested with the project before, but now he is interested. Okay, what should you do? Once you make this matrix by your hand, you know that if someone has high power, high interest, both things high, I need to manage him very closely. Okay. If someone has high power but they are not much interested in the project, I need to keep them satisfied. If someone has low power but they are highly interested, I need to keep them informed. How to inform, what to inform, that we will discuss in the strategies or in the communication management plan. But I know I need to inform those people. If someone has low power, low interest, I need to monitor them. Now, this question I keep on getting. Hey, Amer, why do I need to monitor these people? You never know their strength changes. You never know their power changes. So in the case, I need to understand who these people are, how I can work with them, how I can do those things. Kind of an important thing. Acha, this completes actually your initiation. All these things that we have discussed so far, these things comes under initiation. Also, if we had salience model, 3D matrix, if we had stakeholder cube, 3D matrix, like stakeholder cube is an extension of this. Okay, salience model is power, urgency, and legitimacy. That is your salience model. All these things comes under there, like what is the stakeholder perception, how they think about the project, how they look into that. We put all the information in stakeholder register. Now, important thing is that you don't need any kind of change request to update any stakeholder register. There is no need to like have a change request to update a stakeholder register. It's a document you can, which means you can update it at your own will. There is no problem per se to update that thing. Now coming to the, in the planning, we make stakeholder engagement plan, right? Stakeholder engagement plan has strategies. I hope I'm getting right spellings here. These are the strategies that are required to engage the stakeholders. This strategy makes sure that you are on the right direction. This strategy makes sure you are in the alignment. These strategies make sure we are following the right direction, right way, making sure all the stakeholders are moving in the right way into that. So these strategies, how do we know what strategies to apply, when to know? For that, we refer over stakeholder engagement matrix. Stakeholder engagement matrix. Let's say these are the stakeholders A, B, C. What is their current engagement? Are they unaware? Are they resistant? Are they neutral? Are they supportive? Are they leading? What is their current engagement level right now? Right? What is their current engagement level? Let's say somebody is unaware about me. They are potentially PMP candidate. They are the best people. They want to do PMP. They are looking for the information, but they don't even know me. They don't know me. So I need to do strategies to make sure those people who don't know me, somehow I can make them, of course, I want them to sportive or leading, but at least make them neutral. At least they know me. Like one of the biggest problem in the world is obscurity. People don't know you. For that, I'm making these videos. For that, I put ads. For that, I do multiple things, etc., etc. I do so that those people who are unaware, they become my neutral or sportive. The things I'm gonna do, making the videos, talking to people, putting success journey, are the strategies required for those people. Okay, they don't know, but I know. I have identified these type of people can be my stakeholders, right? Like 95% of my students are engineers, so that's why whenever I make my videos, I emphasize on engineers. Then majority 80% students are in Gulf countries, more than India or Pakistan. They are in Gulf countries. I target more to those people, right? So these are my strategies for those people. Now, some people can be against you, right? Because of any XYZ reason. Even I'm giving this content for free, by the way. Do subscribe on YouTube if you haven't it after watching this video, and put in the comment what did you learn. So I was saying, maybe some people, when they watch the video, they become resistant. They don't like my voice. They don't like any of the context can be there. They become resistant of me, right? They become resistant of me. I need strategies to make them again, depending upon the project. This will be defined by the project. What do you desired? What is need of the project? Desire mean need of the project. What is needed here? Okay, what is needed? Maybe some stakeholders, their current engagement is supportive. I want them to be there. These strategies are documented in the stakeholder engagement plan. For all the important stakeholder, first high power, high interest, low high power, low interest, all these people we document in the stakeholder engagement plan. Important thing, all the resistant stakeholders, they are considered as high power, high interest. For anyone to be resistance, for that they have to high interest, but we also consider them as high power. Now, stakeholder engagement plan is approved by sponsor. Once he approved the plan is approved by the sponsor, now you can go to the execution. Now you implement that plan. Okay, but like implementation of stakeholder plan can be talking to those people, sending them the information, making sure that things work. When you go to the monitoring and control, which happens throughout the project, I check if my stakeholder engagement plan is valid or not. Okay, and if I need to update the stakeholder plan, I need to raise a change request. Please note, whenever you want to update the stakeholder engagement plan, you update the you raise the change request. It goes to change control board. It is get approved. It's a formal procedure whenever you need to update into that thing. Acha, now let's see if a new stakeholder comes or if a new stakeholder leave. Okay, so let's go. If a new stakeholder comes, the first thing is I need to put in the stakeholder register, right? Midway through the project, a stakeholder comes. I put him into a stakeholder register. Do I need a change request here? Put in the comment box, yes or no. Stop, pause the video, put in the comment box, and put it that no, you don't need a change request or you need it. Okay, thank you for that. Now, you don't need a change request to put in the stakeholder register. I explained it a few minutes back. Now, you categorize it internally, externally, you prioritized by power interest. No change request now. Now, because of the new stakeholder, if you have to update the plan, some new strategies are required. It's not necessary all the time. Some old strategies which are happening are okay, or maybe there is no action needed. So if you have to update the stakeholder engagement plan, if you have to, then of course you will do the change request. Change request will approve because other plans can be impacted by that. Once the change request, one change request, first it will update stakeholder engagement plan. then communication management plan, then maybe other risk plan, which means project management plan, which is a combination of all the plans. All the plans will be updated. So let's say if the question comes and the question says a new stakeholder has joined, you have updated the project management plan. Now the question when comes in this direction, it means it skipped categorizing, prioritizing into the stakeholder register. It skipped raising the change request, skipped updating stakeholder communication plan. It directly says project management plan has been updated, which means all other steps have been done. Many people make the mistake when they see such question, they either answer update the stakeholder register or they answer raise a change request. No, when the question comes in this direction, project management plan has been updated. Now since stakeholders are part of initiation, we update the assumption log because that stakeholder can impact the project. Now we update the assumption log. This is the stakeholder topic. Quick summary as well as quick question how they can look into that, what you can see into that way. Put in the comment what did you learn from it. I want to show you something today. Okay. So everything that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you from the exam content outline. How does that actually relate into that? Many people ask, how does that relate to exam content outline? Okay, so when we go to the people area, when we go to the people domain, exam is 42% people. Okay, so manage conflict, lead a team, support team, empower team member and stakeholder. This will come. Okay, build a team, appraise stakeholders again, collaborate with stakeholders. This is actually the task number 9. If I evaluate engagement needs for stakeholder, that's what we were discussing in initiation. Optimize alignment between stakeholder need, expectations, and project objective. So when we were having those expert judgment discussion, when we were having those meetings with them, stakeholders, this was what we were discussing. Build trust and influence to accomplish project objective. Then we were discussing with them, making sure those things look into that way. Next step, build shared understanding, breakdown situation to identify this, what we were doing in the monitoring and control. When we were saying, is the plan effective or not? Okay, then investigate potential misunderstanding, support outcomes of agreement, survey all necessary consensus. So all these things comes into that way. Okay, next we will cover communication. Okay, and task number 13 that covers in stakeholder as well as team topic, that we need to mentor the stakeholders in the even in the communication. Like you see, what next topic communication is coming here, analyzing communication needs into that. So exam content outline can be mastered into it, can be combined into that process. So we need to understand how these things work. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope this was helpful to you. This is the first video in the series, and if you like the content, if this proved to be useful to you guys, we can work further on, and we can basically make sure that this helps you in your preparation. Put in the comments what did you learn, how did you like it, and we can move forward with that. Thank you very much, and do like and subscribe, and like always, if you haven't taken the training, ping me. My number is 848-338-0545. That is 848-338-0545 with +1, because that's US WhatsApp. You can reach me at any time. Bye-bye.